Hey y'all, I just realized I hadn't done a video in a long time, pretty much a year. It was January last year when I did my last, um, whatever you want to call it, blog, Orrin Evans, my thoughts on stuff, or whatever you want to call it. Um, well, it don't matter what you want to call it. That's what I called it, the Orrin Evans blog. So I think we're at number 12. Um, I don't really have a name for this one, but it's just some observations and things I'm checking out. Uh, no matter what, the world continues to move on. No matter what, things evolve. No matter what, we went from cassettes. We went from 8 tracks to cassettes to CDs to LPs, or not in that order per se. Now we're on our iPod to streaming to we started with the big phones that Face from 18 used to have, and he would be in his car on his car phone. Now we got iPhones. So so things evolve. Um, I guess what this blog is about is be careful. Be careful while the world is evolving. Um, that we don't lose the personal touch. That we don't lose the ability to just talk and be human. Um, we're 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 creating a world that is great for the introvert, um, and that's not always a good thing. I know a lot of people are introverts, and then that's good. And they're like, I just like being at home by myself, and I understand that. I do. But if that's all you do, it's not a good thing. So I'll start in this order. I remember WAWA, which is a store in Philadelphia. I don't know. They have them in Jersey too. I don't know if everybody knows. It's like a convenience store. Um, I used to live on this street, and right around the corner from there was Wawa. And then I used to work at this jazz club, and when right around the corner from that was Wawa. So on my way home back to New York at that time, or when I lived on the street in Philly, I went to Wawa a lot. Wawa, you can go in there and get a sandwich, whatever you want to do. But back in the day, you went into Wawa and you said, "Hey, let me get a whatever." Let me get a turkey and cheese, lettuce, no mayo, whatever, oil and vinegar, a little bit of oregano. I'm getting hungry. But whatever, you said what you wanted. And I don't remember when, but I do remember, I don't remember what year it was, but I do remember the moment I walked into Wawa and they had the screens there. They had these like screens, and now all you do is press what you want. You press, I want this sandwich, I want this bread, I want this mayo, I want this sauce, blah, da, da. They print out a little piece of paper. You go to the front. You really don't even have to talk to that person. You pay for your sandwich and you go back over and you get your sandwich. There's really no need to talk to anybody. There's no reason to have conversation. And I enjoyed those moments. I knew the guy who made my sandwich or the girl behind the counter. I knew those people, so because I went in there a lot, I would say, "Hey, how you doing?" I don't know any of those people anymore because I don't have to talk to them. And not only, luckily I spent time talking, but there's other generations and there's other people below me that didn't spend time talking to people. So now those people don't know how to talk to people. They don't know how to even order a sandwich. We have a generation of mumblers. What? What did you say? What do you want? You want mayonnaise? You want mustard? Speak up. How's your day? How are you? And we have to be careful when we get this convenience of entering our information to get what we want, but we don't communicate. Then the banks are the same way. Now you can deposit your checks into the thing. You get the printer being there before 3 o'clock. Everything. Every time I go into the bank, I try to go to the same bank. Um, a bank with TD Bank. Every time I go into TD Bank, they always say, you could just deposit this in the machine. Yeah, I know that. I know that. But I want to talk to somebody. How are you? I want you to know my name. I want you to say Mr. Evans. I want you to value me as a customer. I want you to know when things are a little shaky and I need you to adjust something. I need you to know what my name is. I need you to know me. I need you to know what I'm doing. I mean, now I go into the branch that I go into, and they're like, "Hey, were you on tour? Da 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 da. How's the wife? How's the kid? Like all of that That's real people. I don't know if you all remember that TV show, Real People. It used to come on after That's Incredible, I think. I don't remember. But just the connection and knowing how to talk to people and knowing how to ask them how are they doing. You know, you call now, you go to the bank now, and the person is shocked when you say, "Good morning, how are you doing?" About they don't even come on now because you're not used to the communication. We can evolve, but let's not break down this human connection. This also relates to streaming and movies. You know, a friend of mine, really good friend of mine, said the other day, he said, "Man, I ain't going to the movies no more." And I said, "Why?" And he sent me this website. And he said, "Man, you could watch anything you want to watch on this website. New movies, old movies, blah, blah, blah." I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. And it's cool. I will admit, it's cool when I'm on the road. I'm not really a streaming movies or streaming music kind of person because regardless, I just rather pay for it. I work hard to put my records out. I work hard to put a complete concept together. I'll get to that in a second. So I want you to enjoy it as a complete project. Um, anyway, so I'm not really into streaming like that. But I watched a few movies when I was in my hotel in Japan, but then I felt weird about it. And then the person said, "Man, you know, I don't even have to go to movies no more. I got this streaming website." My problem with that is you have kids, so now you just sit the kids in front of the TV and you stream the movie. I got you. You can stream it on your big screen. I got you. You can sit on your couch. I got you. All that makes sense. But what happened to the experience of getting in your car, going out, going to the store, or going to the movies, getting the big thing of popcorn? Daddy, what you want? You want the nachos? You want all of that? Yeah, it's expensive. I'm not saying it's cheap, and staying at home wouldn't be cheaper. I got you. But the experience is one that you'll never forget. I remember taking my kids to see all the Toy Stories. Okay, maybe I didn't take Dawn might have taken them to see some of them. But I remember going to see some of those movies. I remember going, and sitting with my sons, and, excuse me, and watching a movie, or even beyond that, when you're dating, going out of the house. I remember the first movie Dawn and I went to see. I remember. Yeah, I remember. I don't know if Dawn remembers, but I remember. I remember the movie theater we went to, nasty behind movie theater in Brooklyn. But anyway, um, those experiences, like I just said, nasty behind movie theater in Brooklyn. That was our first date to the movies. Now, what if our first date to the movies was clicking on, logging on, watching the movie? It's just the experience of living life, living life. Now, moving on to streaming music. The other day, I went to see a good friend of mine, and they just had a baby. And I went, sat in his really cute apartment. Oh, it was so cute. We sat in there, and it was Lucas Curtis. And I went to see him and his wife, Karina. And what was beautiful about the experience is 5, 10 minutes into me being there, Lucas and I are pulling out LPs. He's playing me music. He's getting up, going over, dropping a needle, and we're listening to music. Not only are we listening to music, he's giving me the album cover so I can read the album cover and experience the whole thing. Who's on this record? Who's on bass? Man, they listed such and such on this record for playing bass. You think that's him? I don't know. Man, well, it says it's him, or there's an Eric Dolphy record where they get Edgar Bateman confused. They say Edgar Bateman was on drums. I'm sorry, Edgar Bateman was on bass and he was on drums. All of those things are just experiences you can't get from just streaming it. You can't get, you can't read the liner notes. Okay, you can download the book. I got you. It's not the same as holding it in your hand to me. I want to hold the CD in my hand. I want to talk about it. We sat there and we listened to 3 or 4 records before I had to leave, but it was an experience. And it wasn't just, here, listen to this. It was like, here, check this out. Look at that album cover. Look at how a young Abby Lincoln looks on this. Look at this album cover. Look who's on this. And I felt like I was in that time while I was listening to that record. And that's what we're missing now. That's what we're missing, that community to sit down and enjoy music together. Then also, the last part, I guess, as far as, this whole relationship with other people other than ourselves, when I do a record, everybody does this, I guess. Everybody does. When you do a record, I don't even know if you have to do this now. When you do a record, you sit down and you say, all right, I want this tune to be first. Then you go back to the producer, you go back to the label. The label's like, I don't want to start the record with that tune. I don't know. And then you're like, all right, well, I'll make this tune second. All right, cool. Let's start with this tune. I'm going to put this ballad here because we are thinking about the complete experience from beginning to end. Now, my wife and I have had this little dispute on Spotify and stuff, and I understand why she has it. I really do understand why she has it. It is convenient. I'm not a fan of it, for financial reasons. I'm not a fan of it for the other reason. You're policing how I'm going to experience the record. Because right now, at that point, I can say, I only want to listen to this track. We used to do that with cassettes. You put your favorite song on there. But what happened to the B-side? There's no B-side anymore because if you don't even want to hear the B-side, you don't download the B-side. You don't even know about that other song that's on the other side of Mr. Magic. You don't know about that anymore because most people are not going to flip to that. Or they're not going to download it, or they're not going to stream it. I guess my whole point is don't lose the personal touch. Don't lose the personal touch. Yes, we can get into long stories about streaming and how much it costs, or streaming movies and what it costs the movie producer. I'm all for that conversation too. But what's also important to me is the experience of listening to the music, the experience of enjoying the music, the experience of enjoying the music with another person or the movie with another person, the experience of going and buying popcorn, the experience of talking to people at the WAWA or your local store or at your bank. You can even go through a drive-through and get your medical prescriptions or go to the pharmacy. You can go through the drive-through to go to the pharmacy. Okay, that's kind of cool and that's convenient. But what happened to just good morning? How you doing? Then we wonder why certain people like, I walked by this kid and he didn't say anything. There's no reason for them to talk. There's no reason for them to communicate with people. There's no reason. Let's get back in any effort, any way that you can do it. Let's get back to just good morning, hello, go to dinner. Don't always order out. Go out with some people. Get a basket. And I'm not saying I'm perfect on this. Nobody is now that they're here. Get a basket and have a no-phone dinner. Everybody put the phones in the dinner. And that's some scary stuff, especially if you got kids. It's scary if you're waiting on a gig call. I got you. I know it's scary, but you know what? Try it. And just let the people take back this world and leave the machines alone for a second. I'm not going to order my sandwich like that no more. I love going into Max's at Broad and Erie, and it's entertaining. I'm going to tell the dude what I want, exactly what I want, how I want it on my sandwich. He going to say something stupid. He going to snap, whatever. But we have this dialogue and exchange. We have a dialogue and exchange. That's what happens on the bandstand. That's what happens live. That's why people don't know how to go out anymore. We don't have to. Now you got Grubhub or whatever, and you can just... You don't have to talk. You don't even have to order. You don't have to order on the phone. Think about how many times you called to order a pizza recently. And if you have, how the other person on the other side of the phone sounded. Can they even speak? So this is a long one, and I'm sorry. But you know what? Let's get back to people. Let's get back to people. Love y'all. Peace. I'm at the Jazz Standard this week. Just in case you didn't know. Starting tomorrow, February 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st, 2016. Kurt Rosenwinkel's going to join me. Captain Black Big Band, Lucas Curtis on bass. Mark Whitfield Jr. on drums. And it's going to be fun. The Jazz Standard, 2016.